Hey, I'm Jenna,
I'm Gary.
and this is Feeding the Embers, episode
4. Episode 4. So, in our last episode, we left off where we had started
a Bible
study. And we kind of made it through a lot of the struggles that we had and kind of what that led us to and brought us to. And I think we touched on a little bit of kind of what helped bring us together. And that was that basically God got a hold of both of us, individually and together.
Yep.
And, obviously through growing closer to Him, we grew closer to each other.
We did.
And we began to find out something that we already knew all along and that we had just kind of gotten away from. And that is that in order to better love each other, we had to focus more on
Him,
loving Him.
Mm-hmm. And through loving Him, we found love in each other in a different way.
Yeah. Yep. So, again, like in the last episode, we talked about the Bible study and praying together. And we were really focusing on getting God the center of our home and the center of our relationship with each other again. Mm-hmm. But also we really focused, or I focused and you focused individually on getting Him the center of our individual lives.
Yeah.
And that's where the turning point really started happening as we got real serious about keeping Him at the absolute forefront of every day individually.
Yeah.
Like when I was at my day and you were at your day, we still kept Him the center of our life.
Yeah.
And that led us to a stronger prayer life and a stronger study life. I really made it a point to set aside time, no matter what my schedule looked like that day. I mean, listen, we set aside time for everything.
Yep.
I mean, think about your daily life. You get up in the morning and you think, okay, what have I got to do today? And you go through your itinerary in your head and you kind of plan your day out and you make sure that you set aside time for everything that you have to do that day.
Yep.
And I think the slippery slope that people find themselves in and they get caught, I call it the rat wheel, and they get stuck in that rat wheel of just, it never seems like you have enough time for everything.
Because you don't.
And next thing you know, God is on the back burner. And seems like the last thing that you try to intentionally set aside time for is Him.
Yeah, because you're always focused on, my next task, my next step. What's the next thing I got to do? I got to answer this next email and this phone call and this text and this notification on Facebook, this notification on Instagram. Oh, there's a new TikTok. Oh, the kids need this. They got this at school. Oh, I got to do this tomorrow. And it's just constant noise in your head and you forget.
The most important thing.
You forget the most important thing in the world. And then after you have forgot it so long, you don't even know that you're supposed to be doing it.
And then next thing you know, you find yourself in a mess and you're crying out to Him, wanting Him to pull you out of the ditch. And He was like, well, oh yeah, I'm over here. Remember me, the one that you forgot 2 years ago.
I feel like was a lot of my issues was just rat wheel, constant.
Mm-hmm.
And it just went so far. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've been doing that. Oh, okay, cool. I've been doing that for 10 years.
What time was I supposed to sit down and devote 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever a day to God's word and prayer?
Right.
And then you sit back and you think, well, how did I get in such a mess? How did I get so far away from Him?
Because you quit giving Him any attention and He just kept getting pushed to the back. And before you know it, He's so far buried and you're so far over in left field and you don't even hear Him anymore.
Yep.
And I mean, that's what happened to me.
Yep.
I think that's what happened to us, which you didn't get quite as far as I did. But, and I feel like that's what I really focused on once I kind of got pulled back around to where I was supposed to be. I started making time every single day, mostly in the mornings. I would get up before the boys, I would drink my coffee, and I would sit at the table in my chair and read. And just, he started talking to me. And it's just like we're having a conversation. Like Ashley says at church, he speaks words. He would speak words in my mind. And like he would put stuff in me that I know was from him. And that's kind of how, that's how my book came about that we're trying to get finished. I would just write what he gave me and write what he told me. And I feel like that was a huge turning point for me because that wasn't something that I had ever really done. I mean, I didn't open my Bible. I opened my Bible when I went to church. I opened my Bible if I need to look something up. But outside of that, it collected dust and had pillows thrown on top of it beside the bed. If I even knew where it was. Most of the time I didn't know where it was.
It was an incredible, I talked about it in the last one or the one before, whatever, but that was to witness the growth that happened in you. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people say, well, I would read my Bible, but I don't understand it. It's hard to read and I don't understand the words and this kind of thing. But, God doesn't speak Northeast Tennessee English. He speaks God.
He speaks God, but sometimes he speaks in words we understand.
He relates to us and we relate to him through his spirit.
But he doesn't speak to me in King James Version.
Right.
He speaks to me in words and language that I understand.
It's a language that you learn the more that you have a conversation with him, you learn his language.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a hot minute. And I think sometimes it takes a hot minute because he wants to see if you're dedicated. Like, are you really wanting to have a talk with him? You know what I mean? Like, are you really wanting to dive into his word and get something out of it? Or are you just checking the box?
And I would just check the box and not going to lie, some days still, I feel like I'm just checking the box, but it's because that's a me problem because I let those cobwebs come back sometimes and I have to do a check on myself. Okay, are you just doing this to do this or are you doing this to get something out of it?
Yeah.
And it's hard to do when there's laundry going, supper's cooking, kids are screaming, schoolwork's going on, dogs are barking. I struggle with too much mental stimulation going at one time. So I find that I do better if I sit down in the morning before the house wakes up.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a lot. And everybody that listens to this is going to relate to that in their own way.
Yeah.
Because everybody's day looks different.
Yeah.
And you've got laundry and kids and dogs and dishes and whatever else. But I start work at 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? And I work every day.
I know.
So I have to find time in my work day.
Yeah.
To try to find 30 minutes or whatever, a break to try to, and I could use that break for a million things.
Yeah.
I could use that break for TikTok, or I could use that break for Facebook, or I could run to Walmart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I intentionally, because he's worth it.
Oh, for sure.
He is worth my time.
Yeah. I mean, he is.
Because, I have known what it was like for me to, and don't take this the wrong way, but I have found myself in a shape before. I listened to a podcast of a guy today that he talked about he was saved when he was 8 years old and he lived a good life. And when he got to be a young man, he got out in the world and got away from God and he got to have a really bad gambling problem. And he really got way, 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 way away from God. And he said that he can vividly remember the point in his life where God didn't retract his spirit all the way, because he also said that he'd never leave us nor forsake us, but he definitely pulled back and stopped letting that guy feel his presence and hear his voice in his life and his, speaking to him. And he said, I could tell. He said, I knew that I'd made my bed.
Oh, yeah.
And that God was like, all right, that's fine. If that's what you want, that's what I'll give you. And he said, I'll just be way over here and you can just do your thing. Let me know how that goes for you.
Well, it doesn't work out.
And I've been that shape in my life.
Yeah.
And I have found that I got that way. And then I was like, oh, but God, come back.
Yeah.
And God was like, nah.
Waller
I'm
in
just
that for a
going to
little
let
while.
you waller in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah.
So I know from experience that he is worth my time, because I don't want the effects of not giving him my time.
Yeah.
And that is his withdrawal of his spirit and me wanting it and can't feel it.
Yeah.
So I just you got to make it a point. And that's kind of where the turning point for us was. I got serious about my personal relationship with him, and you got serious about your personal relationship with him.
But even before, when we were in the midst of the battle, you got serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying this happened at the exact same time.
No. You were serious and you were like laser focused. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm, going to work on my relationship with God. And I'm like,
because again,
you do that.
If you rewind back to previous episodes, that happened a month and a half before the event or whatever. That happened at the blow off at Lisby's Lane when I got real serious with God. And I told him, I said, I don't even know if I'm saved or not.
Yeah.
Like I was way out there and I was dying to feel his spirit, and he was just letting me waller in it. And then I got serious with him that day, and he came to me, and all that was solved.
But I thought that was the Walmart parking lot day. That was the water tank day.
That was the dead end blow off at Lisby's Lane that was before. And it was literally like 6 or 7 days after that Black Tuesday happened.
Okay. I knew it was all, and
I told you, I said, I know that you've seen me struggling.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to bounce all that off of you, because I wanted to hash it out and get it figured out for myself. And he came to me and really put me back where I needed to be. And I got real serious with him. And like 6 or 7 days after that is when the conversation in the living room about you wanting a divorce.
See, I don't remember a lot of that because I feel like that's just kind of gone from my memory. Yeah. Obviously my mind is trying to protect me, I guess. And it's like, delete.
But no, I got real serious with him and really got my prayer life and stuff where it needed to be. And that was honestly, I'm not taking any credit, and I don't want any credit, but that was the saving grace of us, because
of course it was. Because you were carrying me when I couldn't carry myself.
I just would not. I knew what God had told me, and I knew what I had to do. And that's just, I would not give up. I prayed literally all day, every day.
Yeah.
Just relentless. It said pray without ceasing.
And it truly, truly worked. And we are a living miracle. We are a proof of prayer, and how your prayers and your dedication and your not giving up works.
If all that would have happened a month and a half before that it did.
Yeah.
I don't know what the outcome would have been, because a month and a half before when it happened, I was not where I needed to be to try to stay steadfast.
Right.
And like rock solid, and just really cry out and beg him relentlessly.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think it just all happened on that end like it was supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we found ourselves. I got real serious about prayer and reading his word and seeking his will in my life, and just really wanting a conversation with him and him talk to me. And then you got right with him and the growth, because to watch from where you were,
which was in the miry clay,
to where you were going and where you ended up, not ended up because it's never done.
No, I'm never
like
done.
You're
but
still growing.
But still.
That was absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything ever. I've never seen anything like that. And I can remember that, like, you would just ask me, or you would just tell me, say, "You're happy, aren't you?" And I would literally cry like 5 times a day.
We were both pretty emotional.
I'm not a crier, but man, I was absolutely, you talk about your cup running over. My cup ran over every day.
Yeah.
Because it was a living miracle to see where you were and what was happening in you and in your life.
You should have felt it.
Yeah. Well,
and it's like I remember laying in bed telling you or something when I was like, I want to change my name. I am not who I was.
Literally is like you are after the event at the tank, when he took all my past stuff, if you want to call it PTSD, whatever, all the trauma that I carried with me. I told you that day, it's like, literally, I didn't get saved, but it was real powerful.
Yeah.
Like really powerful.
Yeah, I know. Well, and in my book, my testimony is written in there, and I was saved, I think I was about 15, somewhere around 15, because I wasn't driving and my brother was dating Lauren, which I still call her my sister-in-law. They were together. So I know I was in high school, but I wasn't driving yet. So I was 14 or 15. I'm going to say probably about 15 when I was saved. And I didn't get baptized till we started dating at 18, because the church I was attending wouldn't baptize me because I was baptized as an infant. And so that was kind of a delay, a gap. And I was 35 when it finally, I don't want to say when it took effect, because it didn't take effect. It took effect the minute it happened. But I was 35 years old when I finally accepted God and started living for him.
Well, we've talked about it 100 times, and I always think about what Rex Cole, our pastor, said. He said there's a massive difference in making Jesus your Savior and Jesus the center of your life.
Yeah.
2 completely different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got saved when I was 17, but I was much older than that when I really made him the center of my life.
40.
To the
You were 40. You can say that. 40.
To the point of like letting him tell me daily.
Yeah.
Daily. What do you want from me?
Yeah,
Tell me what
same.
to do.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want out of me. And that's big words, because you never know what he's going to tell you. I mean, you never,
Tell me about it.
I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but you better be ready, because if you say, Lord, tell me what you want out of my life, he's going to tell you what he wants out of your life.
He is. And it might be to write a book. It might be to, do a podcast. It might be to
open your home to a
Bible study. It might be move. It might be quit your job. I mean, he's told us all these things since December, and it's early September right now. So less than a year, I've quit my job. We've homeschooled the boys. We pulled them out of school. We got a lot closer together. We've started a Bible study. We've started a podcast. I wrote a cookbook and a devotional.
And that sounds like, to some people, they might see that as like over exuberance or.
No, that's just God.
Yeah.
It's God. That's all that it is.
I don't know. I see it in my mind like broken up ground is the easiest to grow things in. Like if you tried to plant something, planting it in rock hard, dry ground is very hard.
Yeah.
But when the ground is broken up and tilled up, it's easy to plant something that's going to grow deep roots. And our ground was broken up.
Yeah, it was. And
he said, all right, through that broken up ground, I'm going to plant this. I'm going to plant this. And I'm going to plant this. And I'm going to plant this because of it was just a hard reset. You know what I mean? And he planted a podcast, and he planted a Bible study, and he planted homeschooling the kids, and he planted all this stuff. And from those, I guess, fruit trees in that broken up ground is all this fruit.
Yeah.
And look at what it's bearing.
I know.
To not only just us.
Lots. So many of you all, like so many people have texted, have messaged, have, sent word to me, met me in Walmart or something. I don't know. What did I expect? Of course, God is going to use this to his glory and to his benefit. But wow, like I'm shocked because I don't really know what I was expecting.
Well, the scripture says some plant and some water, but God gives the increase.
Yep, he does.
And we don't take any credit.
No.
All I'm doing and all you're doing is what he tells us to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
because
the fact that it's helping somebody, I mean, it's fuel for my fire and it's fuel for your fire.
Yeah.
And it's an encouragement to us that, that he is able to reach somebody through our struggles or through our victory or whatever it is that helped you.
And there have been people that have, gotten a hold of me and have said, hey, me and my husband, we went through the same thing.
Yeah.
We went through an affair, infidelity, and we made it through. We're not sharing our story, but we made it through. We went through something very similar, and that helps me because it is not something that I wanted to share with anybody.
No.
Neither of us did.
No.
We didn't want to talk about this. We wanted to bury it and it be done and gone and move on. But God said otherwise. And we're just listening and doing what he says, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to hear about God in other people, in their families, in their lives, in their marriage, because that's all it is. That's all any of this is. It's just God. And I don't want you all to look and see Jenna and Gary. I want you all to see God. And I want you to see God in us and in our marriage and in our home. Because without him, we are nothing.
Well, his word plainly says that God is no respecter of person. What does that mean? That means that he does not, I don't want to say he doesn't care, because he does care, but he does not respect me.
Your status, like your status quo.
He doesn't respect me any more than anybody else. He doesn't respect you any more than anybody else. So this is not something that he's done for us that he can't do for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, the only reason that we were able to pull through it is through him. And how did that work? We wanted it. And we wanted him in our lives more than anything.
Yeah.
I wanted him in my life more than anything. Whether you stayed or left, I wanted him in my life.
Yeah.
And I put him the center of my attention. And the word says, all things will be added unto you.
Yep.
So this is, there's lots and lots of people that have made it through hard struggles. And I'll be honest, there are things that I feel like would be worse of a struggle that would take more gumption to make it through than what we went through. On that same podcast that I listened to today, that guy said that all that money that he was blowing on that bad gambling addiction that he had, when he got right with the Lord, he took that exact same amount of money. In other words, he didn't just start putting it back in a savings account. He still spent that much money, but he spent it on things that God told him that there were needs. So he visited like hospitals and like children's hospitals where kids were fighting cancer and stuff like that. There are struggles. There's lots of people that have lots of different struggles and lots of different stories.
I know.
So God can literally get anybody through anything if you just put him absolutely the very first thing in your life and just seek him.
Yeah.
And all things will be added.
Yep. And even in the bad, God is still good. God is still good.
Yeah.
Even in the bad. And, thinking back, I remember when we were in the midst of the struggling, when I was still being stupid, I remember trying to decide, okay, do I leave or do I stay? Do I leave or do I stay? Do I leave or do I stay? And I tried praying about that. Why are you laughing?
I never knew that.
I tried praying about that. Okay, God, you're going to tell me what to do. I mean, you might as well take this book and smack me upside the head. Duh, what was I supposed to do? I'm supposed to stay. You are my other half. Of course I was supposed to say, but I decided to pray about it. And you
Well-
know what? He never answered me because I felt like he was going, duh, you're supposed and I never got an answer. And I was like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. What do I do? I'm confused. And I remember talking to the few friends that I did talk with. And I mean, they never really gave me any advice because you can't really give somebody advice when they're being dumb and out in left field. But he never answered me. But God he don't confuse you. I mean, he is not confusion. He's going to
not
tell
the
you.
author of confusion.
No, of course not. So me being confused was my answer.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
me being confused was my answer
That's
because
exactly right.
it's like God saying, duh. I mean,
Yeah.
no, you're confused because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not following me. And like that night in the bedroom, when I looked at you and said, go get my wedding rings. Like that was just, I don't know. There was my answer. Like I was searching for something that I was never going to find because I had my answer in 2009 when we got married. So, you know, I just, I was praying for something and, you know, we tend to pray for things and sometimes God don't answer those prayers. And it's because we're praying for things that don't align with his will or that we don't need or that he doesn't see that's best for us or because we're just plain dumb. Like, and I mean, it's not funny, but it's
it
just,
makes you wonder what
yeah.
It makes you wonder what God's reaction to that prayer. If I mean, I believe
guarantee you, he rolled his eyes.
And I hate to keep bringing that podcast up, but that same podcast, it's funny that we keep talking about that because that guy said that he believes that God relates to us because God made us in his image.
Yeah.
In other words, if we are a direct representation of God in an earthly form, obviously not the sin part, but if it's not sinful, he believes that God relates to us in all the ways that we relate. In other words, God feels every emotion that we feel at an expounded level. So and I don't know how to.
Then I would say he was really, really, really aggravated at Jenna.
So it makes you wonder, does God have a sense of humor? And if he does, did he just bust out horse laughing at your prayer, or did he get mad at your prayer, or was he aggravated at your prayer about what you should do?
Yeah.
In that scenario.
I know.
You know, so I don't know.
Thought I heard the kids over
That's
there.
funny.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was probably going, oh my God, rolling his eyes or putting his head down going, oh.
But anyway, all pulled through all that.
Yeah.
And found ourselves in a way better place individually. You know, a lot of pain and trauma and that kind of thing was lifted off of both of us. Yeah. And we just were in a lot better place. And some would say, okay, you got through that. And I would venture to say others that have gotten through. Gotten through it.
Right.
Okay.
They stayed together.
You got through it. You stayed together, but are you together? In other words, some would ask, all right, you stayed.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'll let you stay, but you
didn't make me leave.
I didn't make you leave.
You didn't make me leave.
So, all right, you're here. Everything's good. God's back in our life. How does that look as far as like not living the rest of our life with that just lingering. You know, how do I not constantly throw that back up in your face? And how do I not hold a grudge? And or how do I not carry that pain around? Like, how is that just gone?
Well, it's gone for me too. I don't.
Right. Well,
I don't waller in my misery.
some
and
people would ask, how can that happen? How can you do that? How can you just walk away from something so painful and it just like it never happened?
Yeah.
And it's funny that we had this conversation now, because today's reading I read after David beat Goliath. Okay. We all know the story of David and Goliath. So Saul, King Saul, had sent David out to fight Goliath. Well, David beat Goliath. Well, Saul saw that David was victorious, and all these people saw that David was victorious over Goliath, and they all was praising David and holding him up and singing praises to David. Well, Saul got jealous.
Yeah.
And so he sought to kill David. So he started chasing him.
Right.
Well, David started running. And over I'd read 6 or 7 chapters. It's in 1 Samuel, I think 18 to 25. And this is the story of when Saul was after David because David had done something and Saul was jealous of him. Well, so Saul had this big grudge on his shoulder, and he just carried this grudge all the time because of what David did. And Saul's son, Jonathan, helped him and hid him and stuff like that. And David was running. Well, long story short, it all came down to somewhere around the 25th chapter of 1 Samuel. David had fought the Philistines again and had killed a bunch of Philistines. And that David found himself in the same cave as Saul.
I was going to say he was in a cave.
He was in a cave. And so here's David's chance. Here's David's chance to kill Saul. And he went up behind him secretly and cut his robe. And Saul didn't even know it. And Saul woke up the next day and was walking away. And David hollered at him. And Saul turned around and saw that it was David. And he knew in his mind right then that David easily could have killed him because he was right there behind him. And David said, "You've not noticed your robe yet, but look at your robe." And Saul noticed that his robe was cut. And he immediately knew that David had mercy on him and that he did not hold the grudge that by the world's standards, David had every right to kill Saul. He had every right because Saul done him wrong and he was trying to kill him. But David had God in his heart, and he had love in his heart, and he had compassion in his heart, and he let all of that go. And he let Saul live. By the world's standards, I could have held a grudge, and I could have carried that with me. You know what I mean? And I could have let it continue to hinder us on a daily basis by the world standards, because, a lot of people would say, well, that, how can you ever trust or love or get past or whatever? That's God. That's what that is. And you just don't. It's not in there. And I just don't ever take it into consideration. The only reason why we're talking about it now is because we're talking about it.
We're talking about
on
it
a daily basis.
It's
literally
up.
like it never happened. It does never come up. I don't bring it up. I don't hold it over you. You don't. I mean, it's just. It's just gone.
It's not an elephant in the room.
No. It really
is
ain't.
not an elephant. Not at all. Like, we don't. And it's good.
Yep. Because I feel like if it was, and I think I asked you that one time, I said, how, we're so good. How could this turn bad again? And you told me, you said, hold that over my head. Throw it up in my face all the time. That's how it could turn bad again. And you're right. I mean, that if you go through something like that, it has to be like it never happened. You cannot bring that up, and you can't use it as leverage or ammunition or anything like that.
No, and it's just like, you sin against God. God doesn't throw it in your face.
Exactly.
Once you seek forgiveness,
Yep.
true forgiveness, not just, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you get true forgiveness, white as snow. That's in Isaiah. That is the first. Let me find it because I just read that right here. Yep. Though your sins are as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Isaiah 1:18. That's where I was reading this morning. So
Yep.
my bookmark is there. So it's gone. It's gone. He wipes it away, and there's no memory of it. Like there's no record of it. I should say there's no record. Memory, yes, because you should never forget where you came from.
Oh yeah.
And
History forgotten is history that's destined to be repeated.
And you can't forget that miry clay that you had to waller in self-pity, but it's gone. God gets rid of it. He wipes it clean, white as snow. That scarlet letter that you had on, it doesn't exist anymore. Your sins are as far as the east is from the west. It's constant. You're never going to catch yourself. You've told me that before. And I cannot hold things against him. He cannot hold things against me because that's godly love. That's what we're supposed to do as brothers and sisters in Christ and as husband and wife.
Yep.
We can't hold a grudge on each other. Just like if I ask you to unload the dishwasher and you don't, which he did tonight, but I can't stay mad at you because you didn't unload the dishwasher. Because that's not love. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. It does not delight in those things. It doesn't delight in evil. And what we went through was nothing but evil. That was from the devil trying to separate us.
Yep.
I know that that's what that was. But because we are one, because we are God's and we belong to him, we can't hold on to those things. And when somebody in life does you wrong, it may not be your spouse, it may be your parent or a sibling or your best friend. You can't hold a grudge. You shouldn't hold a grudge. And if you know that somebody is mad at you, you should go to them. Just like you came to me.
That's what it said.
You came to me. I did not go to you. You came to me.
Yep.
And even yet, I have found after going through all that, we don't get mad at each other.
No.
And if there's something that needs discussed or fixed, one of us brings it up.
Well,
which is a huge difference because before I was not talking to you. There was none because I didn't want any confrontation. I didn't want to be questioned about anything. I didn't want it.
I would try so hard to communicate.
Yeah.
Try so hard to communicate. And it just wasn't. That
I didn't know how.
I know. That's a crippler of a lot of people, I think.
Like shut that door.
I think a lot of people have a hard time communicating.
Well, I didn't know how to communicate because I never really was taught to communicate.
Yeah.
And, and I can't use that as an excuse because I'm grown. I should know, but I didn't know. I didn't know how to communicate with you, but I've learned. And I feel like now we communicate very well.
Well, that and the desire to keep the desire to keep things clear and keep the air clear.
Yeah.
That desire is burning.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a hard talk, even if it's something that I know is wrong, let's just talk it out.
And we do.
And even if it makes me mad or even if it makes you mad or whatever, we'll get over that.
Yeah.
Because sweeping that crap under the rug, all it does is make a hump under the rug.
I know.
It ain't gone.
No,
so
it's not.
You have to talk stuff out. And that's painful. And that's hard to do.
Sometimes.
You got to kind of let your pride down and your ego down because sometimes it's you that's wrong. Sometimes it's her that's wrong. But you have to talk it out.
Yeah.
And Rex's message last Sunday was, guys, I'm going to put it on your head because at the end of the day, like it or lump it, men, you are the spiritual leader of the home.
You are.
A lot of women's not going to like that.
That's the truth.
That is the truth. And it's not a badge that you wear around to bolster your ego and say, look at me, I'm in charge. Because the man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck.
Yeah.
And without the neck, the head can't turn. So you have equal responsibility and importance. But men, if you don't lead your home spiritually, don't complain when your home is not spiritual.
Yeah.
You have to have talks that sometimes you will be the one at fault, and sometimes you'll be the one that's in the wrong. And you're just going to have to acknowledge that and find a way to fix it.
Yeah. And I think too, that was a lot that I had trouble with, was allowing you to lead.
Yeah.
I struggled with that because not that I wanted to wear the breeches. That's what we've always kind of said. Not that I wanted.
There's kind of an element of truth to that.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to be in control. I wanted to say in everything. I wanted to be the one to make all the decisions, and it's my way or the highway. And I was kind of that way. I was that way. Okay.
Well,
I was that way. I wanted control. I wanted to be the one to make all the decisions for the family. It was my way. I didn't like your way. And if you brought it up, I didn't want to do it. And I would sometimes go against you just because it wasn't my idea.
Yeah. That's true. And I don't know if it was because you didn't trust me to make wise decisions, or if it was because it was just a power thing.
Probably both. Maybe a little both.
Because I've said, and we've had this talk multiple times, and I feel like we'll get deeper into that the longer, not the longer, but the more episodes, we'll get deeper into a lot of these topics. But I really, really got very, very serious and dug extremely deep. And okay, I want to do this thing as close to perfect the way God designed it. Like if we're going to make this thing work, our marriage, right. I wanted to find out exactly everything that word said about my role. How do I be a good husband? How do I be a good father? How do I be a good steward of that word to be a good leader? Because the best way to lead is to be led.
Right.
The best way for men to lead their home is to be led by God and the Spirit.
Yeah.
And I just really wanted to find everything that I could possibly find in that word to tell me exactly how to do that.
Yeah, and I'm trying. I sent you that this morning. Haha. Is this it? Yeah. And I found this verse. It's Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 7. And I read this morning, and I sent it to you because it reminded me of you. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, it would utterly be contemned. And that made me think of us, because we have that kind of love, but you have shown that kind of love, and you have been a wonderful leader and husband, and it makes me want to be a better wife. And I feel like that's a whole episode in itself.
It is.
Maybe even episode 5 of the stuff that we have discovered and that we have started searching for how to better support each other, because I feel like that in a marriage, that is our focus, is God is first, but then I'm putting you above everything else.
I've said multiple times that you as my wife, and people can think what they want and people can look at it ever how they want, because a lot of people feel like that their children are the most important thing in their life just outside of God.
Yeah.
But that's personally not right. That'll rub eyebrows backwards.
I know it's going to rub eyebrows backwards, and I'm probably going to get dirty messages. but your spouse
It's like
comes
this.
next.
And this is why. And I really struggle with that too, because my kids are my kids.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Here's the thing.
Mine too.
Right. Exactly. But me personally in my life, I have to put God number one.
Yeah.
I have to put you a very close second.
Yep.
I can't put you in front of God.
No.
Anything
you shouldn't.
anything that we put in front of God is an idol.
Yeah.
Anything. Books, phone, you, work, friends, golf.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You play golf?
No. But anything that you put higher on your priority list than God is an idol.
Yeah, it is.
We all know how God feels about idols.
Uh-huh.
So I can't put you as an idol in my life and put you in front of God, but you're a close second and my children are a close third.
Yeah.
And
because that's the way it's designed.
It is. And I think it's designed like that because if I put God first in my life, he's going to lead my life.
Mm-hmm.
And in leading my life, the home is going to be what it's supposed to be. And if me and you, husband and wife, are not what we're supposed to be, the kids are
suffering.
They're suffering. So I have to make sure that you're good, and you have to make sure that I'm good, because in that they're good.
Right.
Without us being good, they're not good.
No, they're not.
In other words,
and we've seen that.
Right. I could make sure that they're good and you not be, they're going to end up suffering.
Yep.
Because we are going to pay the price for it.
I know.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's the way I really had to iron that out, because when I kind of restructured the way that I thought about leading the family as a spiritual leader and really digging into God's word, I don't know if we've brought up the sticky notes. Did we bring up the sticky notes?
I think we have.
Early on in the struggle, God, this is one of the crazy things that he explicitly told me specifically. Again, I was driving in my work truck and he plainly told me with words, like Ashley said, leave her a note every day that you're not going to be home. If I'm not going to be home, if I'm going to work or whatever, leave you something that is encouraging, something that I appreciate, love, and admire.
And I have so many of them.
About her. And it just started with these sticky notes. And I would leave a Post-it note somewhere, most of the time on the kitchen table. And I can vividly remember thinking.
There's another one.
And I kind of had this conversation with God. I'm like, for how long? For how long am I going to have to do this? And he didn't really give me an answer, but it was like, okay, why would you stop? And I can remember thinking, well, do I really have that much stuff to write a different note every day and have a different note every day? And I can remember thinking, well, the things that I love, appreciate, and admire about you are endless. So why would I ever run out of something to put on a note? So that started the progression of these notes. And that was early. That was
very early. And that was, I think that was even before, we were like good.
Oh yeah. Because you weren't having them.
Well, I mean,
you were not having them for a big majority of the time there. It got to where it was kind of riding the razor's edge of being too pushy.
Well, it was a little uncomfortable because you were reminding me of everything I already knew.
He told me specifically, he said, just tell her every day. Find a way to tell her every day what she means to you.
Yep.
And just pour it in. So that started these notes. And I've written them every day. You know, and it's a million things. And I kept them, or we kept them, and they're in a book.
Except for the ones I've got
stuck as bookmarkers and everything. But
I've got them everywhere.
But the majority of them are in this book, and it's literally has a picture of me and her at a waterfall. And it literally says on the front of it, a collection of things that I love, appreciate, and admire about you. And so I brought that up because in that, when I really got digging down into his word about how am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? What is my role? What are my rules?
Yeah.
I want to know the rules to follow to be a good husband and a good father. I wrote each one, everything that I could find in his word about that. I wrote it on a sticky note and I left you a new one every day.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Still
Because
doing it. I got one this morning.
Yeah.
I got one this morning.
I just really dug down and really searched out what is my role. And you did the same.
I'm working on it. I'm
still doing the same.
I'm still doing it. I found a book. It's called Created to Be His Helpmeet. If you all can see that. I'm trying to not have a glare on it.
We can probably figure out how to put a link.
Yeah, I can put a link in the comments once we post the video. Discover how God can make your marriage glorious. And I opened the book the very first time I got it, and I just read it, and I just started crying because I knew that there's power in this, and it's all scriptural based.
It's very scriptural.
I've not got through it yet. I'm not far at all, actually, but it's, man, it has really changed how I feel about being a wife, because my mindset originally, normally, up until the last 6 or 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, something like that, has been career focused.
Yep.
Because I went to school, career. My focus was career, and that's what I did. I went to work, just like most of you probably do. You put your work clothes on, you go to work. That's your focus for the day. Being home now, my focus has changed. My focus is to support you and raise the kids while you're gone, supporting the family. And that's changed me.
But even women that still do have to work, you don't have to be home to be able to
support your husband.
You can put anything on the front burner, and you can put anything on the back burner. And I feel like if I spoke for you, God was on the back burner.
Yeah.
I was on the back burner.
Yeah.
The kids found their way on the back burner sometimes because your career was on the front burner.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Oh, yeah. I know.
So, and obviously I had things that were on the front burner, and I put God on the back burner some.
Yep.
So it just was a progression of figuring out what we were doing wrong and finding ways to fix that.
Well, God, we had to rearrange and put God first and then put each other second.
Yep.
And I feel like when we did that, things fell into place.
Yep.
A whole lot better. And even still now, we're still working on making that better.
I mean, I hope I live to be 94 like my granddad. And if I do, I'm going to still be working on that. I don't think.
I know.
I don't think it's ever done. Like, you don't ever say, okay, well, I'm good. I've got it all figured out.
And we will never be. Yes, it's always going to take effort, and we're always going to have to feed that ember.
Yeah.
But I feel like now we have it set up the way it's supposed to be, and we can just build on that.
I feel like that's a good place to kind of wind up. And you brought it up, and I've been trying to figure out when we could stick that in. But that was a revelation that came to me, and I think it came to us together, because through the change that we made in our lives, it did not feel daunting to be such a drastic change.
No.
And I said that because, that you see a million things on Facebook, and you hear a million people say, well, marriage takes work. Marriage takes work. You have to work at it. And something about that just kind of always stuck wrong with me. Yeah. Because work is something that I do. I get up at 4:00 in the morning, and I put my work clothes on, and I put my old ruddy boots on, and I go to work. And that's not something that I want to do. No. I don't want to work. No. Work sucks sometimes. And sometimes you work a job, or you work doing yard work, or you work doing anything, weed eating, and it's not something that you want to do.
No.
But effort is something that marriage takes. And I kind of correlate that with like swimming. Swimming takes effort, because if you don't put forth effort, you'll sink.
Yeah.
But swimming, I enjoy swimming. Swimming can be fun. And I feel like that's the way that you should look at your marriage. Like, you should feel like that you need to put forth effort into your marriage, but it shouldn't be work. Like it shouldn't be a chore that you have to whatever
No.
force it.
Right. And I feel like in our marriage, I look forward to serving you.
I look for ways.
I mean, like nothing makes me happier than to cook your favorite meal. You know, that tickles me pink because I love fulfilling you, and cooking is something I enjoy. So of course, putting the two things together, I love that.
Yep.
I
It's
love
effort, but it's rewarding effort.
I love for you to come home to a clean house, just not today.
If that's something that you're really don't have
That
kids.
didn't happen today. But I love for you to come home to just a comfy, put together house.
Well,
and today I decided to rearrange the whole entire living room because the dog puked in the floor. So that just,
Yeah.
but it's okay because it's all fixed now.
Anyway.
But I love for you to, the bed's made, the sheets get washed, the laundry's caught up.
Which is all things that help our relationship, and it helps our home, and it helps me. But it at the same time, it's something that you enjoy and it's rewarding to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Just like swimming. It takes effort. If you don't do it, you will drown, but it's something that I enjoy. I like swimming.
Yeah.
I can't stand going to work. So
Well,
I don't feel like that our marriage is work.
No,
Does
it's
that make
not
sense?
work. It's not work.
Yeah. And also feeding the ember. If you don't feed that ember, it will wither and die.
Yeah.
You have to feed the ember.
I know.
And
we are.
And we are, which is rewarding.
Very.
I look for ways to feed the ember because it also keeps me warm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I like when you do the dishes.
I did the dishes all along.
I know.
Even when you didn't appreciate it, I still did the dishes. So.
Well, you brought up swimming. So speaking of swimming, next week at this time, we're going to be swimming in Mexico. We are leaving this week to go on an anniversary trip to celebrate 16 years of marriage.
An anniversary trip that I tried to get you to go on before.
Well, yeah, but I did not want to go on.
Shot down. But anyway,
we're going. We're leaving this week.
And it's going to be good.
It's going to be amazing. So we're going to be gone for about a week.
I don't know that we will dead set try to get an episode of this podcast out weekly. I don't want to lock us in because, again, I want it to be an effort. I want it to be an effort, not work. You know what I mean?
Right.
I enjoy this.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to try to get it out as often as we can.
Whenever God tells us to.
If we can record an episode remote, we talked about this. I don't know that we can record an episode remotely like next week while
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But anyway, so.
It don't matter. We'll do what we do and let us know. Let us know, if it helps you, because that helps us. You all that did contact us.
Yeah.
This past, after the release, that fed me. That helped me a lot.
It really helped her because she had such anxiety because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
And we knew we couldn't lay our hand to the plow and look back. We knew what we had to do. But the encouragement that we've gotten from you guys.
That's helped me.
It's really helped. It's helped me. It's helped me because I've saw the weight lift off of you. And
now that all of that is behind us, I look forward to doing this.
All the victory stuff.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. I really feel like I want us to do an episode going through my devotional, and I want us to do an episode talking about, being a husband, being a wife, and that may be individual episodes that you do by yourself or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But
I know we've been kind of rambly and we've been long-winded and telling stories, but we're just trying to get the picture built of.
We're just doing what God tells us.
I know. I'm just saying. This is we don't have a script. I mean,
no, there's no script at all.
Just are kind of following what He puts on our hearts.
Yep.
So, but we kind of have a vision of what He wants out of this, and I feel like that a lot of that is is sharing some of what's in your devotional.
Yeah.
And some of what the specifics of what I found helpful and you found helpful individually.
Yep. So share this. If there's somebody that you know of struggling in their marriage, struggling in their walk with God, share our story with them. The woman at the well, that was my Bible study this last week that I did. She shared her story, and because of her story, a lot of people came to know God, and that's what we want. We want people to hear about God, and we want to show what God did in our life and allow that to help other people.
The woman at the well shared a story that was painful for her to tell.
Yeah, it was painful for her to tell.
Because look at what she said, come and see a man that told me all that I had done. You know what I mean? Her story was heavy too.
Yep.
But because of her having the bravery and the spirit to tell a painful story of the things that she had done and that the Lord had brought her from that, all them people in that town, look at how many people came back to know Jesus.
Yes, 100%.
Through, she just had the bravery to go back and say, come and see a man.
Because it wasn't about her, it was about him.
Right.
It's about him.
So the struggle that she's had and I've had getting this out, I mean, it's super heavy and it's painful to talk about, and we're having to kind of relive some of that. I mean, you're right. It's a lot like the woman at the well.
Yeah.
Because share it. And if you know somebody that's dealing with something, share it. But even if you don't know somebody that's dealing with something, share it anyway.
Because it might touch them.
I promise you, 90% of the people that see this, you saw me on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis, and I guarantee you that you probably did not have the slightest idea of what I was carrying around with me.
And a lot of my friends, like my close friends, had no idea.
You never know what somebody is struggling with.
Yep.
And if I had heard a story that would uplift me in my darkest times, what a help that would have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we appreciate y'all listening. And I know it is what it is. This is just what God's telling us to do.
Yep.
So, but Mexico, here we come.
Yes, we're headed to Mexico, and we're gonna do all the fun things, and I got my nails ready. So, do you have your nails ready?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No, please no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're headed on an adventure that we haven't done.
Very, very, very long overdue.
Yeah. Yeah. Very long overdue. We have not been on an adventure like this since our honeymoon.
No.
So, yeah.
That's an episode about date nights.
Oh, date nights.
You gotta make time for each other.
Yeah, we'll add that to an episode. We need to make a list of episodes that we need to do because there's so many. There's so much. All right, we won't keep you guys any longer. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening, for letting us share our chaos. But really, thank you for letting us share about God, because that's all it is.
I think a lot of people can relate to the chaos.
Yeah, I know.
And I just hope that a lot of people can relate to the solution to the chaos.
There's only one solution.
And if you can't,
let's help you get there.
I know a guy.
And we know a book.
Yeah.
Know a really good book that will help you. So, if you don't have one, if you don't have a Bible, reach out. We've got connections. We've got people. So, if you don't have a Bible, send us an email. It's feedingtheembers@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. You can send a message through the Facebook page. If you have a need, please reach out. We don't have a lot of money, but we have ways to get things.
Sure.
Definitely if you need a Bible.
Yep.
Because
absolutely
everybody needs a Bible.
Yep.
Because you need to be able to read God's word and let him speak to you. And I think we have a stash of Bibles somewhere anyway. So, all right, we'll wrap it up because it's bedtime. And thank you guys.
Thank you. We'll see you
guys. See you on the next episode.
Next time.